ranking the 92 English Football League clubs on the best derbies or rivalries, part 9. Number 18, Arsenal vs Tottenham, the North London derby. There is no disputing the dislike between these two clubs as sets of fans. I think if I was doing this series 10 years ago, this would be near the top. I think this rivalry has probably kept more of its integrity than Liverpool vs Man United or Man City vs Man United. But once again, I just can't place a rivalry high when the players are hugging each other in the tunnel before the game. Unfortunately, I feel as if this one's been washed by the Premier League a little bit. 17, Watford vs Luton. This Hertfordshire rivalry is over a century old and one of the more bitter rivalries in English football. Before 2022, they hadn't played since 2005. This rivalry has been revitalised, but it's not going to go higher on the list. The 16, Liverpool vs Everton, the Merseyside derby. Now, I can already hear it and I apologise in advance. Scousers will obviously understand this derby more than I will. However, from the outside looking in, it does look as if this rivalry has lost a little bit of its fieriness. Once again, there's nothing to do with the two sets of fans, but with the nature of top-flight football now, I just can't bring myself to put this higher on the list. Once again, if you'd have asked me this question 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago, it'd probably be number 1. 15, Oxford United vs Swindon Town. I think every football fan believes their derby is the best, and a lot of people would probably question as to why this one's a bit higher. But considering there's 30 miles between the two clubs, this rivalry is really volatile, and relative to the clubs' distances apart, it's probably unmatched. 14, Exeter City vs Plymouth Argyle, the Devon derby. The first match between these two clubs dates back all the way to 1908, and the rivalry extends beyond football. Both sets of fans have a desire to assert dominance in the region. This rivalry is reignited for next season, with Caleb Watt's move from Exeter to Plymouth only fueling the fire. Number 13, Derby County vs Nottingham Forest. It's well-known knowledge that Brian Clough naturally links these two clubs, and both sets of fans often argue with each other as to who's the biggest. So I ask you now, Derby Forest fans, who's the bigger club and why? 12, AFC Wimbledon vs MK. This is a fantastic rivalry, for pretty obvious reasons I think we all know about, and I think it's certainly intensified over the past couple of seasons. At this current moment, it's probably one of the most intense in English football. The reason it's not going higher on the list, them. I've always said, I don't mind modern MK fans. For the younger fellas around my age, they're just supporting their local team. But in terms of a derby rivalry, it can't go any higher. Number 11, Colchester vs Southend. This Essex derby for me is one of the most underrated in English football. If Southend do get promoted from the National League, then you'll see just why this is so high on the list. So that rounds up part 9 of the series. Stay tuned for part 10 and the semi-final.